I was good, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Floor Talk. Zeke check.
Skinny bitch.
But what the hell, boy?
Let's go. How we all doing? First and foremost, I want to thank you guys so much for 100 subscribers. That's crazy. In about 4 months, I've been on this YouTube journey and definitely making progress. From the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for being here and supporting the channel. Like I said, we're taking over YouTube this year. So if you're new here, hit that sub button, hit that like button, be a part of the movement. I'm just imagining like an auditorium with 100 people. Like, it's insane. Like I was preaching in one of my previous videos, I'm staying hungry. Now I'm looking forward to 1,000 and then 10,000 and 100,000, and I know we're gonna get there eventually. So I'm like starving right now. Got back from the gym. Limited on brain cells, but as I was going through my day today, I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about, and it hit me as I was sitting in my microeconomics class. If you're anything like me and you got a cooked attention span, especially if you're in school, those 75-minute lectures get to you, man. Like, or if you're like in high school from like 8 till 3, you got multiple classes. Like, I feel for you, bro. Like that shit was rough. But over the weekend, definitely had a little bit too much free time on my hands. Fell into some bad habits and found myself scrolling through Instagram and TikTok, and just got down this rabbit hole. Yeah, that definitely just cooked my attention span. I was sitting in my micro class, and it was a 75-minute one. Like, I knew it was going to drag from the moment I sat down. Once the professor started talking, I just tried my best to, lock in. I avoided my phone at all costs. I was literally just staring at the wall before class and didn't even go on my laptop or nothing. I was like, I got to bore my mind as much as possible, because literally, like, whatever task you're about to do, like whatever you're dreading, say it's like homework or a workout, and you need to get that done, you need to make the rest of your life less stimulating than that activity, right? So, sitting in class, for example, a lot of the times I have a hard time focusing. So if I were to like go on my phone and start scrolling on TikTok before class, that's way more stimulating than a 75-minute lecture, right? So then when the lecture starts, obviously it's going to seem way harder and way more overwhelming, right? Than if your mind was already bored, and so your stimulation level is zero, right? And then the lecture starts and your brain's always looking for something more interesting and more stimulating, right? So that lecture is going to seem more interesting. And I was sitting there and I was like, okay, just make it to like the 40-minute mark, right? Like, once I make it to like the 40-minute mark, 50-minute mark, like I'll be good, right? And I thought back to a video I made months ago.
Flashback.
Hey, we out here, 1 mile to go. Hey, if you can make it one step past halfway, it takes longer to turn back. So keep going.
A flashback.
Where I was talking about, like, if you could make it one step past halfway, it takes longer to turn around and go back, right? So that same concept applies to everything in life. So let's say, sitting in that lecture, once I made it to like 45, 50-minute mark, all I had was like 25 minutes left, right? And the hardest part was done. The most uncomfortable part was already over. And then, I was kind of sitting there. I'm like, yeah, this actually isn't that bad. Like, I could do like 20 more minutes, right? And then towards the end, I was like, yeah, I could honestly sit here even longer. Literally, you just have to make it to that point, right? Like, that could apply to anything. So, I still like to run a lot and lift. So, I'll be out in a run. I'm like, instead of being like, oh, I've, 5 miles ahead of me, just be like, make it to mile 2, right? Make it to mile 3. And at that point, I'm not going to be like, oh man, I should have stayed in my room, right? Like, I don't want to be out here. No, like, I'm like, okay, I pushed through and I'm going to finish this run, right? The hardest part, honestly, was literally getting dressed and getting out the door and like getting through the first mile. That was the hardest part. And then I made it to halfway and then a step. And then all of a sudden I'm motivated, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to finish this. Same thing with like a homework assignment or a long essay. The hardest part is literally logging onto your computer, opening the document, and then writing the first few sentences. And then, you'll be sitting there, you kind of get in this flow state. Maybe you got some music going. You're like, wait, this actually isn't that bad. Like, I could do this. I could write a couple more paragraphs, right? So literally just get to that point and then you'll be set. you enter this flow and you're good. I realized like it's not the task itself that we're really dreading. It's not the long workout or the homework assignment or the 75-minute lecture, anything you're lacking motivation for. Honestly, the hardest part is getting through to that halfway point, and then you'll just find yourself kind of enjoying it, right? Like it's not as bad as you thought, and then you'll just finish the task and you'll feel good about it. And I live by this saying, you're never going to regret a single mile, a rep at the gym, an hour studied, or a dollar earned, right? Like you're never going to be at the end of a workout saying, oh, I should have stayed home today. Just make it to halfway and then one step. And then at that point, the hardest part is already behind you. So you might as well finish, right? Like, why would you not finish what you started if you already made it halfway in a step, right? So yeah, that's just what I wanted to share with you guys. Just remember that when you're going into a task, you're lacking motivation, just break it up into pieces and just think about getting to that halfway point, and then there's no point in turning back. So that's all I got for you guys today. I gotta go refuel, hit my protein goal to grow these biceps. And thank you guys so much for being here and supporting the channel. Really hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, leave a like and subscribe. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
I see we posted with pistols and rockets, ain't making deposits. We putting that shit all in the box. Done got a little buzz, now I'm popping. Got racks in my pocket.